everyone, I'm Anne Riddell, and welcome to Arts in the City. If you're searching for something fun to do with the kids, look no further. We're coming to you from the Brooklyn Children's Museum, where there is plenty to do and see with the family. We'll show you a few highlights a bit later in the show, but first, actor Anthony Rapp's career has taken him from Broadway as an original cast member of Rent to exploring the galaxy in Star Trek. And now he's out with a memoir turned musical called Without You. Our Andrew Falzone sat down with Rapp for CUNY TV's Book It. Here's a first look at that interview.
It was the character of Mark Cohen in the groundbreaking 90s musical Rent that cemented Anthony Rapp into Broadway history. His one-man musical Without You, based on his book by the same title, is much like a personal Charles Dickens' Tale of Two Cities.
We did a little 10-performance workshop in 1994. My mom had just, right after that, my mom had a recurrence of a cancer that had been a couple of years before. So concurrent with getting into Rent, which then a year later became the off-Broadway and then Broadway and then this smash hit and everything changed, my mom was ultimately in the last couple of years of her life with her battle with cancer. So yes, the best of times, worst of times, and also Jonathan Larson, who wrote Rent, at 35 years old, died very suddenly and unexpectedly of an aneurysm right after the dress rehearsal of the off-Broadway run. So he didn't live to see his incredible success and how he did, in fact, transform the landscape of musical theater.
Without You is a Rent-head's delight. It features original music that Rapp wrote or co-wrote, as well as abbreviated versions of almost all of the classic songs from Rent, some out of character.
One song, glory, one song before I go, glory, one song to leave behind. Time flies, time dies, glory.
In addition to his stage and screen work, Rapp has been busy in his newest and perhaps most important role. He's a new dad. Back in December, Rapp and partner Ken Ithapal welcomed Rye Larson Ithapal into the world.
I presume that Larson is in honor of Jonathan.
Yes.
At some point, Rye will be older, he'll be able to talk. When he asks you one day about his middle name, I was hoping you might tell us what you might tell him.
Well, thank you. I mean, I haven't thought of the exact words, but I mean, I would want him to know that it's in honor of a man who profoundly changed my life. And part of the reason I wanted to honor him in particular is because of what he epitomized and the values that I experienced him trying to live his life with were values that we want to share with Rye and hope to inspire him.
For the past 4 seasons, Rapp has co-starred as part of the ensemble cast of Star Trek Discovery on Paramount+. He and Wilson Cruz went boldly where no Star Trek characters have gone before, portraying the first queer couple in franchise history. The married couple also mentored Star Trek's first trans character and the first non-binary character, Adira, played by Blue Del Barrio. Paramount Plus recently announced that the upcoming 5th season of Star Trek Discovery will be the final season.
I thought we were coming back. There was certainly no announcement, and we are getting to complete the story. We're getting to get a proper ending now, which is very gracious of the powers that be to allow us that. So there will be a conclusion to it.
What can you tell us about the 5th season?
I can tell you that it's an adventurous season, and that was a word that was expressed to us before we ever saw any scripts. That was like this intentional opportunity to have us go on a bit more of an adventure.
From what you know, from what you've shot so far, are you happy with the character arcs where things leave off?
Yes, I'm happy with it.
The final season of Star Trek Discovery will air in 2024. Rapp's Without You is scheduled to run at New World Stages through June 11th. For the latest information, visit withoutyoumusical.com. I'm Andrew Falzone for Arts in the City.
The Brooklyn Children's Museum was founded in 1899, and it was the world's first children's museum. Originally located in the William Newton Adams House on the corner of what was then called Bedford Park, the museum temporarily relocated in 1966. Then, in 1977, it moved into its current home at 145 Brooklyn Avenue, where it is now New York City's largest cultural institution designed especially for families. The exhibits and programs are grounded in visual arts, music and performance, natural science, and world cultures. The highlights of the museum include World Brooklyn, where children play in kid-sized shops that are based on real Brooklyn businesses. They can even hop a ride on a Play MTA bus. There is also Totally Tots, an indoor pint-sized play area for kids under 6. Soundfield, where you can experiment with sound and music. And Neighborhood Nature, where you explore a Brooklyn backyard. And every month, the museum holds festivals that celebrate the cultural diversity found within Brooklyn. For more information, you can check out their website, brooklynkids.org. What does it take to become a sought-after composer? Huge effort and a big dose of musical dedication. Our Donna Hanover spoke with a young woman who is turning that dream into a reality.
This piece of music is called Winter Morning. What was the inspiration for it?
Just from those two notes, like a passing of time.
Polina Nazai-Kinskaya has made good use of her time becoming a composer. She was raised in a small town in Russia. Her mom says she started making music at the age of 2.
She tells me that I actually came to the piano where my siblings were practicing four-hand duets, and I just came up and I played what they were playing.
Her mom knew from the way Polina improvised on piano and violin that she was destined to compose. She played 10 years in a national youth orchestra, and the conductor urged her to try for the Moscow Conservatory. There she found her first teacher for composing while officially studying violin. 4 years later, she was accepted at Yale School of Music to study music composition. She has composed often for a friend who was also born in Russia, pianist Konstantin Sukovetsky.
Yeah, you want to start the melody first, and then we'll play Konstantin is an angel in my life. I met him in 2012 on a project in California.
She was commissioned by a festival of music in the mountains. I kind of just fell in love with her music, and we became fast friends.
How would you describe her music? What did you fall in love with?
It's romantic, it's contemporary, it's honest.
In 2019, Paulina met Morgan McEwen, who founded the ballet company More Dance after years dancing ballet in various cities and at New York's Metropolitan Opera. She wanted to choreograph, which is often closed to women in ballet. Paulina was commissioned to compose a ballet for More Dance called Encounters. In it, Konstantin played piano on stage with the dancers.
Paulina made this incredible score where he could release a hand from the piano and be involved with the dancers, and then I would add this added level of difficulty and say, well, instead of playing with your right hand, could you switch and play with your left hand? It was just such a special experience making that ballet.
Paulina has also been commissioned to compose chamber music, symphonic poems, and a full symphony that has been performed by several orchestras. The second movement is one of her favorites.
The string section of the orchestra starts it. So it's this massive sound, but they're playing also pianissimo.
How would you describe your composition style?
I would say it's post-romantic. So it's I still use the harmony, the melody, all of the devices that were used in the 19th century. But I also love minimalistic music and very much classical.
Paulina's ultimate dream is to compose for great orchestras like the New York Philharmonic or the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. When she composes for violins or other string instruments, she usually works on a violin. For other instruments, she works at the piano. Paulina has also worked for her PhD at the Graduate Center of the City University of New York, where she had a fantastic professor, composer Tanya Leon.
The most beautiful thing that happened to me, I met Tanya Leon. She was my mentor there for 3 years. Every week we would have a lesson, and she was so generous. Usually the lesson is 1 hour, but we would spend 3 hours. And she's now, look at her, I'm so proud. She got a Pulitzer Prize, she got the Kennedy Medal, Grammy. So she's killing it, and she's 79 years old. She's an amazing role model.
Paulina's husband is a research scientist at Yale School of Medicine and her biggest fan, except for her mom, who visited from Russia right before the pandemic and now lives in the U.S. The next ballet by Moordance is called Emily, inspired by an Emily Dickinson poem, and Paulina was once again commissioned as the composer.
I feel like I'm living the dream. It's just I really hope to continue doing that and to keep growing as a composer, to write better and better.
I'm Donna Hanover for Arts in the City.
Now to a novel by one of our own. Author Elizabeth Nunez is a distinguished professor at Hunter College. Her latest book, Now Lila Knows, tackles questions about injustice and personal responsibility. The story begins when a woman arrives at a rural college for a visiting professor position and then witnesses the fatal shooting of a black man by police. Elizabeth, thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
It's my pleasure. I love being on CUNY TV.
Oh, well, thank you. We love to have you. For people who might not be familiar with how the story unfolds, tell us the first couple of events in the book that set the stage.
Lila is coming for the first time to teach as a visiting professor at this college in Vermont, where there are only 3 Black professors. And on her way to the college, on her way from the airport to the college, she witnesses this. This Black man giving CPR to a white woman who was fatally shot by the police. When she gets to the college, she finds out that the Black man who was shot was one of the professors. What she then encounters is silence.
Yeah.
Silence from the faculty, silence from the administration, and practically silence from the students, that life goes on. There's an acknowledgement, but there is no involvement. No one's doing anything. The 2 remaining Black faculty do not say to her that she should be a witness. She should tell the police what she has seen. They do not put that pressure on her, but she is aware that they expect her to do it.
Correct, yeah.
And then she comes up one day, which is one of the pivotal points in the novel. She's going to have lunch in the cafeteria one day, and as she walks into the cafeteria, she sees a line of students. They have a banner which says Black Lives Matter, and they raise their fist in recognition of her. And when she gets into the cafeteria, she realizes that they didn't do that for the white faculty. They did it for her. So that basically is the question that I ask all the way through this novel. Does everybody have a responsibility when they see injustice? Does everybody have a responsibility to act on it?
Elizabeth, you're a distinguished professor here at Hunter. I wondered, as I was preparing for this interview, how does being a professor inform you as an author?
Well, I consider myself a very lucky person. I have only wanted to do 2 things in my life: write and teach. That's all I wanted to do.
Well, then you hit the jackpot.
I certainly did. What I found out very early is I didn't want to teach high school. So once I knew I wanted to teach...
Not the easiest age.
The thing about it is that I never thought that I, as a Black person from the Caribbean and a woman, could ever write something, a book, that people would read. It just didn't seem a possibility for me. Role models are essential, So I say I came to writing vicariously.
So what gave you the bravery, the clarity, the moment to begin writing intentionally as opposed to sort of vicariously.
A mentor.
Isn't that how it always goes?
A mentor. At this point, I'm the chairperson of my department. And John Oliver Killins, an African-American writer, comes to my college as a writer in residence, and I secretly tell him my secret ambition.
Yeah.
And he says, let me see what you have, and I show him, and that's it. I took the year off, and I never turned back.
An exhibit now on view at the Whitney explores the artistic response to the deadly force of Hurricane Maria, which devastated Puerto Rico in 2017. The exhibit brings together more than 15 artists' creativity in the aftermath of tragedy.
No existe un mundo post-huracán. Puerto Rican art in the wake of Hurricane Maria is an exhibition with 20 artists, half of them living in the archipelago of Puerto Rico, the other half based in the many communities in the diaspora outside of Puerto Rico.
The exhibit at the Whitney Museum of American Art, presented in both Spanish and English, is a collection of works in various media that reflect on the hurricane and beyond.
The artists that we see in No Existe are doing something that at once is condemning the colonialist project in Puerto Rico, while at the same time offering a response, offering a way to move forward, offering a way of seeing, of thinking about Puerto Rico beyond disaster and trauma. Because I'm an art historian, I was interested in looking at what artists were doing, were thinking, how they were responding. Artists are very clever thinkers, and they are not literal. Their business is metaphors, is ideas, concepts.
And so Guerrero set out to create an exhibition that would offer a counterpoint to the typical news coverage of the disaster. The title of the exhibition is borrowed from a poetry book from one of the featured artists, Raquel Salas Rivera. It roughly translates to "A post-hurricane world doesn't exist."
No existe un mundo post-huracán doesn't mean that it's impossible to rebuild, but more like we're still living the consequences of Maria in so many different ways. Maybe in a media sense it was left behind, maybe in terms of like the narrative it's been left behind, but not really in our lives.
While Hurricane Maria serves as its focal point, the exhibition explores a larger context in which the aftermath of the storm was made worse by the events that preceded it. The exhibit contends this cocktail of natural and man-made disasters includes the island's aged and dilapidated infrastructure, the deaths of 4,645 Puerto Ricans as a consequence of the hurricane, and the protests during the summer of 2019 that led to the ouster of Governor Ricardo Rosselló. The curator says the exhibit is a response to these constant existential threats, and it offers a platform to the artists and their messages.
This exhibition is also the first major survey in a major museum in the United States to talk about and to cover Puerto Rican art in the last almost 50 years.
The exhibit will be on display at the Whitney until April 23rd. I'm Adam Miller for Arts in the City.
Two classical pianists, a mother and son, have made it their mission to use music to make the world a better place. Our Susan Junn sat down with the talented team.
Whether performing on stage or practicing at home, this dynamic duo is always perfectly in sync. Mother and son concert pianists Michelle and Christopher Kuo have been playing together as Two Piano Journey since 2016. Their mission: to make the world a better place through music.
When we do concerts, they're always to support a nonprofit organization. Every single penny that we raise, every single ticket sale, sponsorship goes directly to the nonprofits that we serve.
A charitable concept that was born out of a son's gratitude to his mother.
Two Piano Journey was a way for me to say thank you to my mom. As I kind of grew older, I realized that my mom had sacrificed a lot of performance opportunities and international travel opportunities basically because she chose to raise my older brother and myself.
As a piano prodigy, Michelle Kuo grew up in Taiwan selling out concert halls.
By the time she was 13 or 14, I think, she had already made her orchestral debut with the National Orchestra in Taiwan, and then she ended up winning the national competition 3 times.
Michelle moved to Hong Kong, won another national competition, then came to the U.S. on scholarship to study at the Eastman School of Music and Juilliard, where she met her husband, got married, and became a mom.
During that time, I was thinking that, well, either I will be a good mother or a good musician.
So Michelle continued to pursue her passion through teaching. Her most important students were her sons. When Christopher went to college, he chose to study finance, but he never lost his appreciation for his craft thanks to his mom's quiet encouragement.
She just left an electric piano with a stack of books, and she said, "It's here for you when you need it."
Over time, Christopher realized he did need it, and that's when the idea for Two Piano Journey was born.
I remember saying, this was something that we used to do as a family when we were younger. I think we might actually have a great chance to do something really exciting if we were to continue that tradition.
The talented team decided to add the charitable element to make the experience truly rewarding.
I'm so grateful that he brought me back to the stage, and we can share our talents and share our love of doing the volunteer for the social impact.
The full-time investment banker takes it one step further, helping smaller and younger charities maximize their contributions.
My goal when I established these partnerships is to set a very ambitious fundraising target a whole year in advance, and then help them build fundraising infrastructure.
To date, the rare mother and son piano pairing has performed over 40 concerts across the country. Their most recent in the city at Carnegie Hall benefited the Chinese American Planning Council of New York City.
The fun part is always talking about what's the next goal, what's our next dream.
It's been the adventure of a lifetime. I wouldn't give this up for anything.
For Arts in the City, I'm Susan Junn.
You may recognize Ashley Austin Morris from TV shows like The Big Bang Theory and The Good Wife, or the new FX series Fleischman is in Trouble. But our Barry Mitchell bets you'll soon know her name thanks to her hilarious new stand-up comedy album.
I got to move. I moved to the Upper East Side. I know. Everybody thinks it's so fancy. But right when I moved there, I got stabbed in the face with Botox. It was crazy.
Ashley Austin Morris, by night, stand-up comedian, by day, actor.
What was the question?
The question is, when do you sleep?
If I'm doing a series like Fleischman's in Trouble, it was like the best time of my life. We would be on set at 5:30 in the morning. So if I'm doing that, I don't do stand-up those nights. I might do stand-up after the shoot if I don't have to if I'm not shooting the next day.
Somewhere in there, Ashley found time to release her first stand-up comedy album. And that's what we're talking about today at Stand Up New York.
Ashley Austin Morris, congratulations on the new album.
Thank you.
Slightly Off, #1 on Apple Music.
Thand you.
How'd you come up with the title?
Oh, because I'm off.
I don't like being from the South, right? I think it's a very hard place to be from, especially on January 6th.
I don't make political jokes, but I do make jokes about events.
I was watching the attack on the Capitol and I was like, ooh. I hope I haven't kissed any of them.
Your January 6th material is funny because you make yourself the butt of the joke.
Right, thank you.
I knew I didn't know that guy in the horns. I didn't know him because he said he had to eat organic. And I was like, oh, no, I don't know him. If they were like, he has to eat Tang and hot Cheetos, I'd be like, I know him.
One of your bits I find hilarious is your Bible story, baby Moses floating down the Nile.
And Pharaoh's daughter is bathing in the Nile, and she sees the baby in the basket, and she takes the baby in the basket, and she raises the baby in the basket, and the Jewish people continue.
But I read my Bible, and I always think about, like, what if I were in the Bible? And I just really would have screwed everything up.
Me? I'm bathing in the Nile, and a baby in a basket floats by? Float on by, baby. Like, it's the Nile. There's snakes and alligators. Why haven't they ate that baby? Something ain't right about that baby. It's like...
After I looked at your stand-up, I knew where I saw you originally. It was on the PBS Kids show, The Electric Company.
I got The Electric Company. It was my very first TV job.
From this moment on, I will never use hard or soft C again, or my name isn't Francine Carruthers.
I played Francine Carruthers, who was a villain, but also just like really needed to be loved.
You like me. You really do.
It was such a safe space to learn how to be on television because I came from the theater. I'm still very good friends with lots of people from there.
Miss Brown, I'm Addie Abrams, your new assistant.
When I shot Murphy Brown, I was so excited because when I found out Murphy Brown was coming back, like I have a very vivid memory of watching that show with my mom.
Angela Merkel returned my call. That's it. I'm gonna need you to be a little quieter.
I love playing drunk people because people think I'm drunk all the time and I really don't even drink.
Ashley Austin Morris, best of luck with the album called
Slightly Off.
Available at
Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify.
And our thanks to Stand Up New York here at 236 West 78th Street for hosting us today. I'm Barry Mitchell and you're watching Arts in the City.
That is our show for today. Thanks so much for joining us. Quick reminder to check us out on social media. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Anne Riddell. See you next time on Arts in the City.